have that angle very right. You look at TS Galaxy as well, you know, pushing backwards, giving him enough space and time. It's unfortunate that he couldn't hit the target, but those are the things that he can create out of nothing.
Excellent efforts. Pressure still on. Peter Shalalile goes to ground, and the challenge from Bernard Parker, who's not been able to come away with him. Kulise slipping in. Serino, desperate defending. The Rockets escape unscathed this time around. Nyama's found Hlongwane. Mahlangu. Hlongwane to Nyama. Bunjana, he'll be key tonight. Kevin Simango at the back. The captain for TS Galaxy. I mention him because of all the pacey players Mamelodi Sundowns have at their disposal this evening, especially in advanced areas. Simango has never been dribbled past this season.
He's a very good defender. I mean, for years now, top teams have been knocking on the door for his services. He do have the structure, the height of a good centre back. He's also comfortable on the ball, so 1v1 situation is very good at.
Another corner delivered in by Bernard Parker again to Mahlangu, who's standing at the near post for the second time in succession. Now the only outlet was Gaston Serino, has been effectively found. Bunjana getting back hurriedly and applying the pressure. Charlie to space for Serino, a little back heel. And it's run away from Morena. Well, has gone out for a corner kick. Serino's take, well met, brilliant. Mamelodi Sundowns from the set piece, and Rasheen Deruk is the man who's bagged it. First blood to the champions.
And I think there's an injury there.
There's some concern for the goal scorer, who immediately crumpled to the ground. The opening goal has come at some personal cost.
In the ground, we were speaking earlier on about the height that it's very difficult to see from this angle here, but I think there was a collision there with him and him and Khatib. I think he just, when he went for the ball, because after that I can't see any contact after the ball. And it was a good header there from Deruk. Hopefully he will be able to participate further into the game. But yet again, comes back to the question that we spoke about earlier with TS Galaxy's height, the number of players that are big and strong aerially. They should be able to defend the corner kick very well, and they were unable to do so. I think it's the bounce from Bunjani after that.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Yeah. Because in the first glance, it was very difficult to see that, because once he headed the ball, I think we're following the ball inside the net, and then we couldn't see the contact that he made with Bunjani.
I don't think it was that initial tussle with Khadebe. as he landed, and they made contact with Mlungisi, who's one of the more robust players out there. So there could be a defensive reshuffle on the horizon for Mamelodi Sundowns. They do have Brian Onyango back available to them for the first time in a long time. Mosolabusa as well. He can play as a centre-half, although he's been deployed as a left full-back more frequently for Sundowns. Also interesting, whilst we're looking at the bench, Jerome Carosa. We don't often see too many star footballers emerge from the Northern Cape, but the young man from De Aar is on the bench for the first team for the very first time.
Yeah, it's been nice to see him doing it, getting a chance to be able to play. But now with the Mamelodi Sundowns, with this force change, you can see that Onyango is the one that's going to be introduced, and which means they still have two of their centre-backs right-footed. I thought maybe probably with Lebusa might give them a little more balance, especially being a left-footed centre-back.
I certainly wouldn't have wanted to reshuffle so early. But Brian Onyango was a regular at the beginning of the season. So it will be good to see him return, the Kenyan. Hasn't featured since that defeat to SuperSport United. Defeat that triggered this 12-match winning run in the league.
And I think that was the only time I think this season the Mamelodi Sundowns conceded 2 in a game.
Yeah. So a round of applause for Rashid Deruk as he is stretched off the park. It's never nice to see, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Mamelodi Sundowns, for all their squad depth, are actually dealing with a lot of injury issues still, even though they're welcoming back some players, and their schedule doesn't get any easier, especially with trips to the continent coming up next month. But here's the reintroduction of Brian Onyango, who will be partnering Grant Kekana at the back for the remainder of this game. They have a good 75 minutes to see out. I wonder how that really complies with the periodization plans they might have had for him, but you know that those go out the window sometimes when the game requires it.
Yeah. And also it says to you that as a footballer as well, on the bench, when you're not in the first lineup, you always need to stay ready, because such things, unfortunate situations like this do happen. You need to be able to come into the game and impact the game a little more different. And sometimes there's an opportunity as well that you have a good game, it might end up being, you know, one of those situations that you end up having a good run into the season.
So a centre-half partnership we haven't seen much of. This term is disbanded after a quarter hour. The Mamelodi Sundowns do have the lead, courtesy of the departed Rashid Deruk, and TS Galaxy forced to chase. They have come from behind to win once this season. That was against Maritzburg United just before the turn of the year. Let's see if they can do it against much tougher opposition. Managed it twice last season, in fact. 17 instances where they conceded first, came back to win against relegated Baraka in November, and put 3 past Chippa after conceding first in December of 2021. Nice exchange of passes. Spilele Mkhulisi. Andy Lejali picks a brilliant pass to Gaston Serino, who's tried to set Zwane on his way, and Zwane out-muscles Marks Munyai, but illegally, according to Nkosi Khumalo.
Good pressure there from Tim Zwane, trying to fight for that ball. Of course, good call there from the referee as well. I think you look at Mamelodi Sundowns, Andy Lejali in that midfield, Kulisi as well, been given so much time and space on the ball. They're able to play those penetrative passes. TS Galaxy needs to do better if they want to get something out of this game. They need to, compact that midfield, not allow too much space to those important players from Mamelodi Sundowns.
Bule gets it back after his initial header, one possession. Matlago clears. Traore initially got the better of Grant Kekana, who's recovered. Bernard Parker. Parker's ball repelled by Ngobeni, only as far as Bunjana. Mahlangu almost latches onto that. Younger getting his first feel for the game. That's from Jali. Just cushion it to Ngobeni. Zwane seeking to thread it through for Serino. Sanoka. Evade Serino. Nice take from Nyama, and in not the tightest control. Bunjana seizes upon the loose ball. Marks Munyai. As Khadebe on his outside, chooses to try and pick out Traore safely into the clutches of Dennis Onyango. Now 37 years of age, has been resigned to a support role this season, having played 16 times in the league last term. Now 37 years of age. A quick look at the position. They've got almost 60% for Mamelodi Sundowns, actually below their usual mark for this season, which is in the mid-60s.
Yeah. And I strongly believe that, with the lead on their side as well, the chances are that ball position is probably going to increase more, because what they do normally is once they have the ball, they just